Wife wanted half of everything I owned in divorce after sleeping with her ex. So I vanished without a trace. I'm a hydraulic engineer. I design water treatment systems for municipal projects. It's technical work, lots of site visits, calculations, permit applications. That Friday, I'd spent 12 hours dealing with a contractor who couldn't read blueprints and a city inspector who thought he knew my job better than I did. I was exhausted when I pulled into our driveway in suburban Houston around 8 p.m. The house was dark except for the upstairs bedroom. Janice's car was in the garage. I grabbed my laptop bag and headed inside, already planning to microwave leftovers and crash. I was halfway up the stairs when I heard her voice. No, I'm serious. It was incredible. I stopped. She was in our bedroom, door cracked open. Phone conversation. I should have kept walking. I should have announced myself. But something in her tone, breathless, excited, made me freeze. Brandon knows exactly what he's doing, she continued. God, I forgot how good he was. 3 years with Carson and I've been settling for missionary twice a month. My hand gripped the railing. Stop it, she laughed. Okay, yes, the hotel was risky but that's what made it hot. And Carson's so predictable, working late, always tired. He didn't suspect a thing. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Brandon. Her ex from college. The guy she swore didn't matter anymore. I know. But I'm done waiting. Her voice shifted, businesslike. I'm meeting with the lawyer next Thursday. He already looked at our finances. Said I'm entitled to half of everything since Texas is community property. Carson's 401k, the house equity, savings, I'll walk away with at least $200,000, probably more. My vision tunneled. The stairs felt like they were tilting. He's been the dependable provider, I'll give him that. But 3 years of boring stability? I earned that money just by putting up with his crap. Brandon's got his own place now, he's assistant manager at the dealership, and once I'm free, she sighed, satisfied. Finally, I get to live again. I backed down the stairs. Quietly. Mechanically. My brain was white noise and cold clarity at the same time. She had no idea about the inheritance. My father died 4 years ago and left me $2.2 million. I'd never touched it. Never even mentioned the full amount to Janice. She knew Dad left me some money, but I'd been vague, let her assume it was maybe 50 or 60 grand that got absorbed into our house down payment. That money sat in a separate account at a different bank. Completely untouchable. She thought our net worth was maybe $400,000, respectable for a 31-year-old engineer and his unemployed wife. She'd quit her marketing coordinator job 6 months after we got married. Said she wanted to focus on homemaking. What she'd focused on was yoga classes, lunch dates, and apparently sleeping with Brandon at budget hotels. I walked into the kitchen. Set my bag down. Opened the fridge. Pulled out the casserole she'd made earlier in the week. I heard her footsteps upstairs. Water running. Shower. I made 2 plates. Heated them in the microwave. Set the table. Poured 2 glasses of wine. She came down 20 minutes later in leggings and an oversized t-shirt, hair wet, face fresh. Smiling. Hey, babe. How was your day? Long, I said, smiling back. Contractor drama. You know how it is. Poor thing. She kissed my cheek, sat down. This looks great. We ate dinner. I asked about her day. She told me about errands and a new recipe she wanted to try. I nodded, asked questions, laughed at her story about the grocery store. I was calm. Focused. Years of engineering work taught me something valuable. When a system fails, you don't panic. You assess. You plan. You execute. She had no idea I knew. No idea that her entire strategy just collapsed. That night, lying in bed beside her while she scrolled through her phone, probably texting Brandon, I stared at the ceiling and did the math. It was Friday night. She was filing Thursday. That gave me 6 days to disappear completely. Saturday morning, I woke up before Janice and went to my office. Opened my laptop. Started a checklist. I worked in water systems. I understood flow, pressure points, controlled releases. This was no different. Monday, I called my boss. Family emergency. Need to take the rest of the week off. He didn't ask questions. I'd worked there 7 years, never took sick days. 9 a.m., I walked into my 401k administrator's office. Requested full liquidation. The rep looked concerned. Mr. Hayes, you understand the penalties? Early withdrawal means. I understand. Process it. $23,000 after taxes and penalties. I'd take the hit. Tuesday morning, I moved the inheritance. Started with my father's account, $2.2 million sitting untouched for 4 years. 3 transfers, 3 different offshore institutions, done by noon. Janice was at yoga. She came home with smoothies, talking about some drama with her instructor. That's crazy, I said, kissing her forehead. Wednesday, I hit the banks. Withdrew $40,000 cash from our joint savings, half of what was there. Cancelled all joint credit cards, citing security concerns. The rep assured me new cards would arrive in 7 to 10 days. They could arrive at an empty house. That afternoon, I went through our filing cabinet while Janice was out with friends. Found our marriage certificate, my father's death certificate, account statements, my birth certificate. Packed them in a fireproof document bag. Wednesday night, I barely slept. Janice snored softly beside me, one arm thrown across my chest. 3 years. I'd thought we were building something. Turns out I was the only one building. She was just waiting for demo day. Thursday morning, 5 a.m., my truck was listed on 3 private sale sites. By 10 a.m., I had a buyer, cash deal, $8,000 for a 3-year-old F-150. Met him at a coffee shop, signed the title. By noon, I bought a 2008 Toyota 4Runner from a guy off Craigslist. $1,200, ran rough but solid. Registered it under my middle name, something I could do with a cash transaction and minimal paperwork. Janice thought I was at work. I'd left that morning in my truck like normal, kissed her goodbye. I drove the 4Runner to a storage unit I'd rented Tuesday, parked it, took an Uber home. My own truck was gone, sold. If she noticed, I'd say it was at the shop. She didn't notice. That night, I packed a single duffel bag in the garage. Clothes, toiletries, the document bag, a framed photo of my dad. I left our wedding album on the bedroom dresser. Thursday night, we had dinner. She made salmon. We watched a show. She laughed at something on her phone, probably Brandon. I smiled, refilled her wine. You okay? She asked. You seem distant, just tired. Big project wrapping up. She nodded, already back to scrolling. I lay awake until 4 a.m. Then I got up, dressed, grabbed my bag from the garage, and left. She was still asleep. The house was dark. I stood in the doorway for 10 seconds, looking at the life I'd thought I had. Then I closed the door and didn't look back. I drove for 16 hours straight. Stopped at a truck stop outside Shreveport, Louisiana around 8 p.m. Sat in the parking lot, ate a gas station sandwich, and pulled out my phone, turned it off. Wiped it. Left it in a trash can next to the diesel pumps. No phone. No trail. Just the road and a tank of gas. Friday, I crossed into Arkansas. Stopped at diners, paid cash, kept driving. The highway stretched empty, and for the first time in 72 hours, I felt my chest loosen. Saturday afternoon, I rolled into Montana. Mountains cut the horizon. Air smelled different, clean, cold, sharp. I saw a bulletin board at a feed store. Handwritten ad, ranch hand needed. Room and board. Rocking Bee Ranch. Phone number at the bottom. I called from a payphone. A man answered. Buckman, saw your ad. I'm looking for work. You know cattle? I can learn. Pause. Come by. We'll see if you're worth feeding. The ranch was 20 miles outside town. Dirt road, wooden fence, mountains behind. A man in his 50s stood by the barn, weathered face, solid build. Bill Buckman, you run from the law? He asked, looking me over. No. You a drunk? No. Can you work? Yes. He studied me for a long moment. Then, bunkhouse is out back. 3 meals, $50 a day. You earn your keep or you're gone. I nodded. A woman appeared from the house, late 40s, sharp eyes, graying hair pulled back. She carried a thermos and 2 mugs. Colleen, Bill said. New hand. She poured coffee, handed me a cup, surveyed me like I was livestock. What's your name? Carson. Where you from? Carson, Texas. She nodded slowly. Whatever you're running from, it stays your business. But you hurt my family, and Bill won't be the one you answer to. I respected that. Bill showed me the bunkhouse, small, clean, a bed and a stove. Colleen brought me blankets and a bar of soap. That night, I ate dinner with the ranch hands. Real food, steak, potatoes, bread. Colleen cooked. I couldn't remember the last time a meal tasted like something. Monday morning, I started work. Mucking stalls, mending fence, hauling feed. My hands blistered. My back screamed. I loved every second of it. No phones. No Janice. No betrayal. Just cattle, mountains, and work that actually meant something. I was mucking out stalls on my 4th day when I heard her voice, sharp, confident, and completely unexpected. Dad, I need to borrow the truck. Graduation's not going to photograph itself. I looked up. Red hair, green eyes, worn jeans and boots. She stood in the barn doorway, hands on her hips, looking at Bill. Then she looked at me. Who's this? Bill grunted. New hand. Carson, this is my daughter, Caitlin. She nodded once, dismissive. Great. Can I have the keys? That's when I met Caitlin. Caitlin barely looked at me for the first 2 weeks. When she did, it was with the kind of assessment you'd give a stray dog, useful maybe, but probably temporary. She was home from Colorado State, finishing her doctorate in veterinary medicine. Spent mornings in town at a clinic, came back afternoons to help her dad with the herd. She knew cattle better than most ranchers I'd met. I kept my head down. Worked. Learned. Bill didn't talk much, but when he did, it was worth listening to. Colleen fed us like we were her sons, breakfast at 6, lunch at noon, dinner at 7. Real food. The kind that sticks to your ribs. 3 weeks in, Bill sent me out for a night cattle check. Late calving season, heifers needed monitoring. I was walking the north pasture with a flashlight when I heard boots behind me. Caitlin. Flannel jacket, hat pulled low, rifle slung over her shoulder. Dad sent backup, she said. Thinks you'll spook the herd. I haven't spooked anything yet. There's a first time for everything. We walked in silence for 10 minutes. She checked 3 heifers, efficient and quick. I held the light. You know what you're doing, I said. 4 years of school. I'd better. Why'd you come back? She glanced at me. Why'd you leave? Fair. We kept walking. She stopped at a fence post, checking the wire tension. You're not like the other hands. How so? You're educated. I can tell. You use words like assessment and structural integrity. Most guys Dad hires can barely write their own names. Does that bother you? No. She straightened. Just makes me wonder why you're here. I looked at the mountains, dark shapes against darker sky. Because I needed to remember who I was. She studied me for a long moment. Then nodded. Okay, that was it. But something shifted. Over the next month, we worked together more. She taught me how to spot early infection in calves, how to read a cow's body language before she charged. I helped her organize data for her thesis, population health trends in rural cattle herds. We didn't talk about our pasts. We talked about the work. Colleen noticed. I caught her watching us during dinner one night, a small smile on her face. She mentioned something to Bill while refilling coffee. He glanced at us, grunted, said, "Let it be." Boys earned some peace. I didn't know what to do with that. Mid-June, Caitlin mentioned she was hiking to Whitefish Falls the next morning. Local spot, 40-minute trail. I nodded, said nothing. But the next morning, I had a bad feeling. Can't explain it. Just a knot in my gut. I followed an hour behind her. The trail wound through pine forest, open to a clearing with a waterfall, 30 feet high, pool at the bottom. Beautiful, and there were 3 men standing too close to Caitlin. I heard her voice, sharp. I said no. Come on, just one photo. One of them laughed. Mid-20s, drunk at 10 a.m., emboldened by numbers. I came out of the trees. She's good. Move along. The biggest one turned. Who the hell are you? Someone who's telling you to leave. Or what? I didn't engage. Just positioned myself between them and Caitlin. Kept my voice level. You're drunk, you're trespassing, and you're harassing someone. Walk away or I make a call. There's 3 of us, old man. I pulled out the ranch walkie-talkie, keyed it. Bill, it's Carson. 3 guys at Whitefish, Wilson's ranch logo on their shirts, drunk and aggressive. Need you to call the sheriff. The leader's face changed. Wilson was their boss. We were just talking. You were leaving. I didn't move. They looked at each other. The big one spat, muttered something, and they headed back down the trail. I waited until they were gone. Then turned to Caitlin. She was shaking. Not obviously, but I could see it in her hands. You okay? Yeah. Her voice cracked. Yeah, She wasn't. The adrenaline hit her all at once. Her knees buckled and I caught her, held her up. I've got you. She pressed her face into my shoulder and broke. Not crying exactly, just the release of what almost happened. I held her, one arm around her back, one hand on her head, and let her shake it out. We stayed like that for 5 minutes. When she pulled back, her eyes were red but clear. Thank you. Don't thank me. Just glad I followed my gut. We walked back together. Didn't talk. Her hand brushed mine twice. Bill and Colleen were on the porch when we got back. They took one look at us and knew. Bill's jaw tightened. What happened? I told him. Caitlin filled in details. Bill's face went dark. Colleen put an arm around Caitlin, but her eyes stayed on me. Something in her expression said she was reevaluating everything she thought about the quiet ranch hand from Texas. That night, I couldn't sleep. Kept thinking about those men, about how close it had been. 2 days later, Bill came to me at dawn. His face was grim. Ran the count last night. We're short, 20 head. Missing over the last 3 months. My stomach dropped. Stolen? Has to be. Cattle don't just vanish. He looked toward the western fence line, the border with Wilson's ranch. Need your help. You're good with numbers, details. Figure out when they went missing, how they got past the fence. I nodded. We'll find them. Good. He paused. Those boys who hassled Caitlin? They work for Wilson. The pieces clicked together. Our neighbors weren't just aggressive. They were thieves. I spent 3 days analyzing Bill's records. Cattle count logs, sale receipts, vet records. Caitlin helped. She knew every animal by sight, could pinpoint exactly when certain calves disappeared. Here, she said, pointing to February's log. These 4 heifers. I vaccinated them myself. They were here on the 15th, gone by the 23rd. I cross-referenced with the fence inspection logs. Bill walked that section on the 19th. Noted wire damage, fixed it. Someone cut it after he repaired it, and before the next check. I sat back. This is organized. They're watching his schedule. We found the pattern. 20 head over 3 months. Always the same section of fence. Always during Bill's routine gaps, when he was in town for supplies, at the livestock auction, visiting Colleen's sister overnight. Wilson's ranch shared 3 miles of fence line with the rocking bee. His operation was twice the size, but everyone knew it ran on intimidation and corner cutting. He had the local bank, half the county commissioners, and enough lawyers to drown any complaint, but he didn't have documentation. I spent 2 more days photographing everything. The fence cuts, clean, professional, wire cutters not bolt cutters. Higher tracks leading to Wilson's access road. Most importantly, I hiked onto public land that bordered both ranches and used my camera's zoom lens to photograph cattle in Wilson's holding pens. 3 of them still had Buckman's brand. Poorly covered with a running iron, but visible if you knew what to look for. Got you, I muttered. I showed Bill that evening. He stared at the photos, jaw working. This'll never hold up, he said quietly. Wilson owns Judge Patterson. Sheriff Davis won't touch him. Davis isn't the only option. I pulled up my laptop. Federal charges for cattle rustling across state lines. I checked Wilson's sale records, they're public. He moved cattle through a Nebraska auction house last month. That's interstate commerce. Bill looked at me. Really looked at me. You're not just a ranch hand. No. But that's all I want to be right now. He nodded slowly. Sheriff Davis might be in Wilson's pocket, but he's not stupid. If we hand him a federal case, he'll run with it to cover his own word. We went to the sheriff's office the next morning. Davis was 50, overweight, 5 years from retirement. He saw Bill and smiled. Bill, what can I do you for? I set the folder on his desk. Cattle theft. 20 head over 3 months. Documentation, photographs, and evidence of interstate sale. His smile faded as he opened it. Wilson's been stealing from the rocking bee, Bill said. And we can prove it. Davis flipped through the photos. His face went pale. This is. Bill, you know Wilson's gonna fight this. Then let him fight federal prosecutors. I tapped the interstate sale records. That's beyond your jurisdiction. You call it in, you're just doing your job. Davis looked at me. Who are you? A witness. 3 days later, federal agents and the county sheriff raided Wilson's ranch. Found 8 head with altered brands, including 2 of Bill's. Wilson blustered, threatened, called his lawyers. Didn't matter. The evidence was airtight. They arrested him on 6 federal counts. His ranch, 1,200 acres of prime grazing land, went into immediate asset seizure pending trial. Bill mentioned it at dinner a week later. Colleen had made pot roast. Caitlin was home for the weekend. Wilson's place is going to auction, Bill said, pushing potatoes around his plate. Shame. Good land. If I had the capital, I'd expand. But $1.4 million for that acreage. He shook his head. I set down my fork. What if someone made an offer before auction? Bank won't negotiate. They want market value. Market value is $1.4 million? Give or take. I took a breath. I might know someone interested. Bill looked at me. Colleen stopped cutting her meat. Caitlin stared. Carson, I wasn't entirely honest about my situation when I arrived. I met his eyes. I left Texas because my marriage fell apart. But I didn't leave empty-handed. I can make an offer. Silence. How much are we talking? Bill asked carefully. Enough. The $1.4 million, cash, within 30 days. Caitlin's fork clattered onto her plate. You have over $1 million? I inherited it from my father. Kept it separate. My ex-wife didn't know about it. I looked at Bill. I can buy Wilson's land. Merge it with what you've got, create a partnership, or run it independently. Whatever makes sense. Bill leaned back, studying me like I was a puzzle he'd been trying to solve for months. Colleen spoke first. Why didn't you mention this before? Because I wanted to earn your trust first. Not buy it. She nodded slowly, something like approval in her eyes. Bill asked the only question that mattered. Are you running from the law? No. Anyone coming after you? My ex-wife tried. She can't find me, and even if she could, that money's untouchable. It was never community property. He absorbed that. Then, your past is your business. Let's talk about your future. Colleen squeezed his hand. Caitlin looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. Not the ranch hand who mucked stalls, but someone who'd walked away from one life and built another from nothing. Double C Ranch, I said. If you're asking. Double C? Carson and Caitlin. The table went dead silent. Caitlin's face flushed red. She stood up, chair scraping back. Excuse me, she walked out. The screen door slammed. Colleen gave me a look, half amused, half warning. That was bold. Maybe too bold, I said. Maybe just right, Bill said. He stood, grabbed his hat. Give her a minute. Then go talk to her. I found Caitlin on the porch, arms wrapped around herself, staring at the mountains. I'm sorry, I said. That was presumptuous. It was. She didn't look at me. You've been here 3 months. You barely know me. You're right, she turned. But you're not wrong either. I waited. I see how you look at me, Carson. And she stopped, frustrated. This is complicated. It doesn't have to be. You're rebuilding your life. I'm starting my career. And you just dropped $1 million ranch purchase like it's nothing, which means I have no idea who you actually are. Fair point. My name is Carson Hayes. I'm 31. I was married to a woman who cheated on me and planned to take half of everything I owned. I inherited money from my father that she didn't know about, and when I found out about her affair, I left. Disappeared. Started over. I met her eyes. I came here broken. Your family gave me a place to heal. And you made me remember what it feels like to want something real. She was quiet for a long time. Why doubles? She finally asked. Because if I'm buying land and building something permanent, I want it to be with someone who matters. And you matter. We've barely even kissed. I know. So let's start there. I stepped closer. She didn't move away. The kiss was soft at first, tentative, testing. Then her hand came up to my face and it deepened, and everything else fell away. When we pulled apart, she was smiling. Okay. Double C Ranch. The purchase went through in 28 days. I hired a local attorney, wired the funds, and by mid-August I owned 1,200 acres adjacent to Bill's land. I hired 4 ranch hands, invested in infrastructure, new fencing, water systems, a refurbished barn. Caitlin started her veterinary practice, using part of my land for a clinic and boarding facility. We worked side by side. Fell asleep on the couch watching bad TV. Fixed fence in the rain and argued about the best way to treat hoof rot. One night in September, a thunderstorm rolled through. We were securing the barn when lightning struck close, crack of thunder that shook the walls. Caitlin grabbed my arm, and we ran for the house, soaked and laughing. On the porch, she turned to me, rain dripping down her face, and kissed me hard. I love you, she said. Just so you know, I love you too. Colleen saw us from the kitchen window, hand in hand and drenched. She smiled to herself and poured 2 mugs of coffee. October came. The ranch thrived. Caitlin's practice served 3 counties. I was happy, genuinely, deeply happy, for the first time in years. Then my attorney called. Carson, I've got a situation. Your ex-wife has been trying to locate you through my office. She's persistent. What does she want? To talk. She's left 17 messages. Says it's urgent. I closed my eyes. Forward the latest one. The email arrived 10 minutes later. I read it on my porch, Caitlin beside me. Carson, please. I know you're angry but I made a mistake. Brandon left me. I lost the house. I'm working at a diner. I'm barely surviving. I love you. I never should have done what I did. Can we please talk? Just talk. I'll sign whatever you want. I just need help. Please. Caitlin read over my shoulder. What are you going to do? I thought about Janice in our kitchen, laughing about Brandon. Planning to take half of everything. 3 years of lies. Then I thought about where I was now. What I'd built. Who I'd built it with. I looked at Caitlin, red hair catching the sunset, green eyes steady. I'm going to propose to you, I said. What? I got down on one knee, right there on the porch. Pulled out the ring I'd been carrying in my pocket for 2 weeks, simple silver band with a small emerald. Caitlin Buckman, will you build a life with me? The kind of life no one can touch, no one can take, no one can poison? Her hand went to her mouth. Tears started. Will you marry me? Yes. She was laughing and crying. Yes, you idiot, yes. I slipped the ring on her finger. She pulled me up and kissed me, And for a moment the world was perfect. When she finally stopped crying and kissing me, I pulled out my phone. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Calling my attorney." I dialed. He picked up on the second ring. "Tell Janice I'll give her $50,000 to sign divorce papers. Non-negotiable. She has 48 hours. Caitlin raised an eyebrow. I covered the phone. "It's mercy. More than she deserves." My attorney called back 36 hours later. She took it. Signed everything. "I'm filing the paperwork today." I'd expected relief. Instead, I just felt done. Like closing a book I'd already finished reading. "Did she say anything?" I asked. "She tried to negotiate. Said 50 wasn't fair, that she deserved more for the years she gave you." I showed her the prenup she signed and the documentation proving the inheritance was separate property. She stopped talking after that. "Good, Carson? For what it's worth, you're handling this better than most people would." I looked out at the double C, at Caitlin in the distance working with a young colt. "I've got better things to focus on." The divorce was finalized 62 days later. I was officially free. We got married 6 months after that, April, when the Montana wildflowers were starting to bloom. Small ceremony at the double C. We set up chairs in the north pasture, the mountains as our backdrop. Bill walked Caitlin down the aisle, makeshift as it was, just a path we'd mowed through the grass. She wore a simple white dress, boots underneath, hair loose and catching the sunlight. Colleen had helped her get ready that morning. I'd heard them laughing in the house, Colleen telling stories about Bill's terrible proposal 30 years ago. When Caitlin appeared, Colleen was crying, the good kind. Ranch hands, neighbors, Caitlin's friends from vet school. Maybe 40 people total. No one from my old life. No one from Texas. I'd thought that might bother me, erasing everything I'd been. But standing there, watching Caitlin walk toward me with Bill beaming beside her, I realized I hadn't erased anything. I'd just finally started writing the right story. The ceremony was short. We said our vows, hers made me cry, mine made her laugh. When the officiant said, "You may kiss your bride," the hands whooped and hollered. The reception was in the barn. Colleen had organized everything. Strung lights, set up tables. We danced to a local band, ate barbecue, drank beer. Bill gave a toast that was mostly him getting choked up and Colleen having to finish it. Best day of my life. 1 year later, I was sitting on our porch, the house we'd built on double C land. Designed it together over 6 months of arguments about window placement and kitchen layouts, when Caitlin came out with 2 glasses of lemonade. "How's she doing?" I asked, gesturing to her belly. "She's active. I think she's got your stubborn streak, or your red hair and attitude." Caitlin sat beside me, her hand resting on 7 months of pregnancy. "Bill and Colleen are coming for dinner Sunday. Mom wants to bring more baby clothes. We're going to need a second nursery at this rate. She's excited. Let her spoil us." I looked out at the ranch. 300 head of cattle. Caitlin's clinic was booked solid. She'd hired an assistant, was talking about bringing on a partner. We'd just closed on another 200 acres to the east. The double C was real. Thriving. Ours. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Then I opened it. "I miss you. I know it's been over a year, but I think about you every day. We could try again. I've changed. Please respond. Janice." I stared at the message for 5 seconds. Then deleted it. Caitlin saw. "Her? Yeah, you okay?" I looked at my wife, her hand on our daughter, the sunset painting the mountains gold, Bill and Colleen's laughter drifting from their kitchen window across the property. "Yeah. I'm better than good." She squeezed my hand. "Sometimes I think about what would have happened if I'd confronted Janice that night. If I'd fought for a marriage that was already dead. If I'd stayed in Houston, split everything 50-50, spent years resenting her." Then Caitlin laughs at something, or I feel our baby kick, or I watch the sun set over land that's actually mine, and I realize, I didn't lose anything. I just finally found what I was looking for. Janice chose betrayal for greed. She got 50 grand and a studio apartment in a city that doesn't care about her. I chose reinvention. Got a ranch, a wife, a family, and a future no one can take from me. She thought the inheritance was her jackpot. Turned out it was my exit door, and I walked through it without looking back. Update, because people keep asking. Yes, the baby's healthy. Girl, due in May. Yes, Janice texted twice more. Blocked her. No, I don't feel guilty about the 50 grand. She got more mercy than she showed me. Yes, Caitlin knows everything. And no, I don't wonder what if. I built exactly the life I wanted. That's the whole point. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.